Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. My name is LynzloByChoice. I chose to build this and you are choosing to be here with me and I'm happy about it. Let's get into it. This is actually for a family home and it's kind of on the larger side, or like the just right side, the medium side. Like this is just enough for a crowded family, and I feel like I definitely break up this home a little bit more in a cohesive way. The first level is completely for the whole family, and then the second level is where all the bedrooms are. We have an additional bathroom, and that is it. It is no seating area. We do have a laundry area, and I think that is great. Along with that, there are a few other cool amenities with this outside of the spacious lot that this is on. As you can see here, we are just figuring out the layout of the outside. I'm sitting here and I'm just asking myself, like, what is this home and what can it have? Do I want it to have, a garage? Is it just a garage? Is it a carport? Do I want them to have a backyard and a front yard, or just a backyard, or just like a small little porch area in the front? And so once I figured that out, then I think I move on the inside, but I do try a new technique in this video, and that's actually putting so much detail into the outside of the home. So of course, I add a few things of bushes, we have some plants and everything, but there's a lot of sim decorations, like a lot of activities. We have a little bit more things here that really show what the personality of this family is, and I think it just works perfectly. So I do start on the inside, but only the layout, because I had the layout in my mind as I was constructing this the first time I started working on it, and I did not want that to leave. Now upstairs, there's a lot of changes. I ended up having to take out 2 of the closets, so there are no like walk-in closets in this home on the second level in any of the bedrooms, but there is a laundry room, and the bedrooms are on the spacious side. Now the amount of family members in this home is definitely one that we need to talk about, so let's go into that. So I actually think the family that lives in this house is 2 children. We have 2 parents, and then we have another set of children, but you have the option to choose between infants and toddlers. So there's 1 toddler bed, 1 infant bed, and then 2 of the beds that you would see from a child and up. So I think there is a big family debate going on in this home every dinner, and I actually think that there are a lot of pets. So I think there's maybe like 2 dogs or 2 cats or something, and I put a lot of dog food in this house. Like there's some on the porch, and then there's some in the garage, and they have 2 sets of dog food. And so I think that this family actually is on the bigger side, but it definitely accommodates to it. I go with an open floor plan inside this home, but like I said, I just go in and add a few things to this home, and then I am really focusing on the outside. So I put a lot of things in this home that I think is really cool, and I had like the most fun figuring it out, because it definitely is on the different side for me, not like extremely, because I feel like this build really does scream something that I've built, but then I look back at it and I'm like, did I really build this? And I'm always amazed, and I am loving that, because that just means that I'm really progressing in it, and I am just happy, one, that I'm progressing, but also that you all are liking it. And that's really one of the reasons why I am happy about it, because I am passionate about The Sims. I love, just building and just allowing myself space to just have fun, really. And I'm happy that you all are enjoying it as well. So, okay, so we are back outside, and I am happy that, we're here, because honestly, it was going to take me so long to do this, and it did take me a very long time to do this, but in the end, I was like so happy with this result. I ended up going for a lot of features that are very grand and big, and it just works, because honestly, this entire build is probably on the more modern side, definitely on the more clean and contemporary side. So I really hope that you can see bits and pieces of that throughout this home, not even just on the outside, but definitely on the inside. So I add this grand door, and it's like a lot of windows, and they have it broken up by, just from like the actual door, and then there's a window attached to the door in a way. I hope you can see that. So I had that door, and I think it works perfectly because there's that, and then right next to it you have those 4 big windows, and that entire space is just the living space. So as soon as you look into that window, you can see a lot of what's going on, and I think it just works. So I go ahead, I add in a lot of bushes, some flowers, and then I'm like, this family is, they love this home because it's very modern and it's on the modern side, but they definitely have a huge family, and they don't want to limit the potential of their children, but also, they don't want to hinder their growth, creativity, and what they think about their childhood. So they're like, I need to have a lot of stuff out there, and that's why I added that small little playpen. And then they have their bikes outside, they have a swing, they have what else is there? I think I add some things so that they can do like water sports. So there's the sprinkler, and then they have some things for a toddler, because I did think that, like I said, there is a toddler here and an infant, so I do add some of that, and then the little kiddie pool. And I think this is a great home for a family because you can easily make this home adapt to whatever childhood that your children are in, or whatever area in their childhood that they're in. Because at one point, I definitely think you can swap out everything that's over to the right. So all of the things that I'm adding here, you can swap that out for a pool. Or you can add an extension to that and just make it like a mini apartment for your children. The possibilities here are quite endless, but I think for this stage in this family's life, they have a lot of or they don't have a lot, but they have a toddler and they have an infant and a child, and so this just works for it because they could go out here, the children, they could play on the swing set, or they can play with the sprinklers. The infant and the toddler could just play outside with the toys, and they have, that little step ladder with a slide, and, the teenager could be into gardening. So they have those planter boxes over to the left as soon as you walk out. And so, like I said, I thought that they had a big family. So I wanted to really lean into that, and I hope you can see that. Also, I definitely think that this family would have a dog or 2 or 3, and it shows because I add these dog toys out here. They have a lot of dog food and things, so I really think that this is a good idea for that. I wanted to add some storage out here as well, because they have the storage out here and then they have some storage in the garage area, but I feel like they would love to have a lot of outside time with their children. So when they're out there, they want to just grab small stuff, and that's why I added some of the clutter that we got with either it was probably base game, or I think it came with the update that was getting ready for Growing Together. So there's that little kit of infant supplies, and so I added some of those, and then I added some more chairs out here because I figured if their toddler's going to be out here, they don't want to sit up out on the porch, they want to sit out there, they want to be right next to the toddler in case they fall or in case they need anything. So I wanted to add those chairs, and I wanted it to be cool and fun because maybe the children want to sit there too, and they have the option to sit there. I don't think they would really care about a lot of the decorations that are outside because they know that this is for a family. What do you expect? So I think that that's great, but on the inside, I feel like you can definitely see the contrast between wanting a stylish home and also wanting a home that works for your family. And I feel like this is kind of like the perfect mix, but like I said, I wanted to make sure I had enough decorations for the family. So you can see I put the mobile playpen out here. They have the high chair and the dog food. There's some paper plates and napkins and stuff so they don't have to run inside, even though the kitchen is right there. Like I said, I love this open concept flooring. It just works. And I definitely was going to add this here, but I end up moving that to the garage because this space kind of cluttered up this area a little bit more, and I didn't want that because, like I said, this family wants their home to be tailored to their family. So they don't want it to be overly like, a lot of clutter everywhere because they do love the cleanness, but they did want, a few more things to be like, oh yeah, my family lives here, of course. And so you see that in a few of the decorations, but the main decorations that you see here is really because they want it to look nice. And that entryway was not doing it. So this is actually my favorite part of this house, and this is the kitchen. You can see I'm doing a lot of things here that really make it more of a complex kitchen, even though it's really not. I used a lot of the cabinets that we got with Dream Home Decorator, including some of the modular shelving here, and I wanted to play with it because yes, the closed off cabinets, those look great, don't get me wrong. I love these because you don't really have to look at enough decorations to put outside, but I definitely wanted them to have an experience the open shelving, because although it's really nice to have closed off, some people like the open shelving. And I think this family, or especially one of the parents, was like, I love, the amount of storage that we get in this home, but they love the concept of having some open shelving here. And that opens up the door for it because it's not a lot of space. And as you can see here, there's a lot of that. I wanted to add a lot of decorations here because one, I could, but also just because it is a big family and I feel like they would accumulate a lot of clutter just experiencing. And so I wanted to go into that, but I think this family is definitely one that would have, like some kind of maid service or some kind of cleaning service. And I love that in The Sims you can play along with that. So I feel like they would definitely have that. They love keeping a tidy home and everything, but they are very aware that with a big family comes a lot of clutter, comes a lot of things that happen. So I really think that this family works with a cleaning service just because they have to, not necessarily but that they want to, but they really do need to because if they don't, they're going to have things everywhere in different places, and that's not necessarily what this family wants. So I really hope you could see it here. If you want to download this build, please do. It's up on the gallery now and you can download it there. It's under my name, LynzloByChoice, as well as my name on other socials. I do have a TikTok, so feel free to check me out there. I do post some shorts. I do alternate between some of the videos, so some things you'll see here, some things you'll see on TikTok, so please feel free to do that. And also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm cool, you're cool, so just go ahead so you can join the community and you can click the notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever I post new videos. And I try to post videos weekly, and I am having a great time doing it. I think my creativity is like really spiking right now, and I'm trying to lean into it, and I want you to witness that because yeah, I would love you to just witness it. So please go ahead and do that. And I am hopeful that we're gonna have a great time because we are already having a great time. We are moving swiftly through this build and I'm happy about it. This is actually the powder room. I've been watching a lot of HGTV and I love it. I can't stay away from it, and I'm happy I gotten back into it because now I can just apply a lot of the terminology back here. And don't get me wrong, I've always loved HGTV. Like when the pandemic first hit, I fell in love with Love It or List It, and I still kind of am in love with Love It or List It. So I got back into watching a few episodes now, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a 3-piece shower, a 4-piece shower, a washroom, powder room, mud room, everything. And I'm like, oh, I sit there and I watch those people search for the houses that they want and everything, and I'm like, oh, you could do so much better. Like, I don't know why I feel like I can both be, an interior designer but also a real estate agent, because I'm sitting there and I'm envisioning what I would do with the house or what house I would show them, things like that, and it just works. But now I am back into watching that, and so I can apply it to building, and I hope you all can see it. It's going to be so cool. So that is what I've been up to, honestly. But now back into this build, we are constructing what the living room setting kind of looks like. And I do end up going out with this. So, I have, two couches, and then I end up going with one or two chairs. So these two chairs, and I didn't want to do a lot here because I wanted to keep the flow really nice. You can see it's an open concept home, so I didn't want to close it off with a lot of furniture. I didn't want to close it off with a lot of things. The only thing that I really do use are those wall decals that we got with Eco Lifestyle. And if you don't know, I typically use those in every home that I build in because I need to. Honestly, I love Eco Lifestyle, and what we get with it just works. I did want to use that bookshelf. Don't end up using that bookshelf because it looks a little too bulky for what we're trying to do, so I do end up changing that out. But the main colors here are on the cream side, and then we see some greens, and that's what you see in the kitchen. And then it's a lot of whites and grays. But as you can see, I tried to move the laundry room right there, like closer to the great room, but it ends up being closer to the stairs, so I do end up changing that out. This is when I end up moving that item from Seasons out to the garage because I needed more space. This is where I added a few more things. I add some more clutter, just a lot of storage in here. And then you can see I added one of the closets that we got from, I think, Get Together. Yeah, I think Get Together, that's when we got the clubs and everything. And I do end up opting to just add a small mirror here and an end table because it didn't need to be that extensive, especially because we do have an end table when you walk in through the front entrance. So I feel like that was just the perfect substitute. We didn't need a lot of things, but we definitely wanted to have something there in case they didn't want to put anything out in the garage. They just wanted to sit it right there for a quick second. So yeah, and then we're back into decorating the living room. I would actually go as far to say that the decorations that I put on top of that fireplace are the cutest, and they are really like toned down, and you can see that those are the ones that the parents actually wanted to be as a decoration. And then kids came and put their decorations, their projects, puzzles, toys, anything around this. So you can see that there is an actual layout, there's an actual decoration style that the family has, but they just don't care enough to clean it up all the time because the children are going to come back and do it all over again. So that was my thought process. And then I used some of those paintings that we got off the gallery, added those on there, and then I just wanted some accent walls and some things to make it really different from the other ones. And I felt like this was a perfect time to use those pictures that we got from Growing Together, so I end up using those. And also I think it just works because this is a big family, they love capturing moments and everything, so they could use those picture frames and just put all the pictures of their family in them. So I think it was a great decision, and I normally wouldn't put those in there because, when you're building, it's blank. You actually have to play the game, take pictures of your family, and then you can put them on there. And so I didn't want to do that, but I felt like for now it was just perfect because it's move-in ready, and, your family can just move right in to start taking pictures and customize the home to their liking. Okay, so as you can see, while I was talking about those pictures, I went ahead and furnished the children's bathroom and also the laundry room. And now we're going to move into the bedroom, and I'm so happy I was able to fit in a bathroom for the parents, like their own bathroom, and it just works because for a second I didn't think we had the space to do it. I didn't think we had the funds to do it either, although there is a small caveat to this because there's a baby bassinet in the parents' room, so we can assume that they're having another child on the way or something similar to that, and so we had to accommodate that. But I added these built-in cabinets here, and I felt like that was perfect because we didn't really have a lot of storage space. As you can see, I added another one of the dressers, but I felt like the dressers would actually go for the baby stuff. And then we have a lot of baby clutter, and then we have some clutter for the parents, but It's not that much. As you can see, I ended up bringing in that one small thing that we got from the bathroom kit. It's like the plastic 3 shelf storage thing, and I ended up placing that there along with some more decorations in the built-ins that we added. It's really like the overall theme of this bedroom is all over the place. Like, I tried to be very classic with the bed, and then we have very modern with the built-ins, and then we just have additional furniture over to the front of this bedroom, and that's just, you know, where the baby stays and all the baby clutter. And then we have the dog bed, a mirror, and then I wanted to find a nice rug that just really tied everything in, and I end up going with the square one. And I feel like the parents are, you know, very educated academically, so I added their degrees up there. So I felt like they actually met after college, because one went to Foxbury and the other one went to Brightchester, so I added those up there. And then we're moving into the next bedroom, and this one I thought was for a child who adored pink and all things, you know, very upscale, very royal, and I felt like this was perfect. I end up adding a chair, and I love that chest that we get, the closet. That is so cute, and it really ties everything in, and you get the matching end table. And I know it wasn't planned to match the bed to those 2 items, but it really works perfectly. I wonder how many times the Sims team has done that, where they've picked a color and it just matches something from a different pack. Like I said, I do think that this is for a child sim who loves pink, so with it being a child, I wanted to add a lot of things that the child can play with. So we have the mirror for talking, and then there is that journal and the child's violin. And I feel like that mirror is like so teenager or so childlike, because you can actually have your photos up in the corner, and I imagine their friends taking pictures with them and everything, and they just want to have bits and pieces of their friends, you know, in their room with them. So I think that that is perfect. Now we are moving into the second bedroom for our children, and this one includes a toddler bed and an infant bed, and this is really nice. The main colors in here are blue, and I think we go for a space theme in this. And I don't think I've said this before, but I love that ceiling decoration that we get. It is so cute and modern. It's like very minimalistic, but very childlike. I can see a child being fascinated with that thing hanging from the ceiling, because I am. And I think this entire room just has a nice vibe to it that doesn't look very forced, and it works perfectly for the children who live here, because they have things that they need, but also there's beds, so who's gonna argue with that, you know? It was around this time that I figured I should add a toy box, because there is no toy box in this home and there are a lot of children, and I didn't put a lot of, you know, toys and stuff in the child's room, but also in that toddler infant room outside of the toddler things that they can use. So I figured they probably need some toys, and so I added them there. And then we're moving into the final child's room, and I suspected that this child would actually be a teenager. And yes, so before I get into that, I did add fans in everyone's room, but then I realized that the ceilings are a bit low, and my idea is that the sim would walk in there and just hit their head on the fan. So I had to take that out, and we end up adding in, you know, just standard lights, and I just take the fan out. But for this one, I feel like it's a bigger room. I don't know if it's quite as big as the parents' room, but the way that that is laid out, it's more of a square shape. But for this room, it is not a square shape, it's a more rectangular shape. So I push their bed all the way to the end, and then we have a desk. Then I add some dressers, because I would assume that they would like to have clothes and put them places. But I don't think that this child is definitely on the, let's say, cleaner side. I think they're a messy teenager, but they are very studious. They like having their things in the place that they think they need it, but everyone else cannot see the system, and that's okay, because they don't need to. It's not their room. So I'm okay with how this turned out. It's more of an orange, yellow, green vibe in there. It's very tropical, if I could say so myself, but I think it's nice. It's definitely what I would think of when, you know, I was a teenager, and and I wanted to decorate my room a certain way. I would love something a little bit on the funkier side, and so I just gave that to them. And then from here we are just putting on some wallpaper, some paint that I think works for all of, you know, their children. I think by now we can all notice that I love accent walls, and what I do a lot of accent walls in my home, like in real life, IRL, probably not, but in The Sims it just adds more dimension and I think it works. But for this one I tried to stay away from a lot of accent walls because a lot of the bedrooms are on the smaller side, so I just wanted it to be a little bit more functional, especially with it being a very large family. But we are coming up on the end of this build. I really hope you liked it. I hope you can envision, you know, playing in this. If you can, go ahead and like this video. That helps me, lets me know that you are enjoying the content. Also subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, that way you can be notified whenever I'm posting new videos. I really hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.